Chasing Big Joe, presented by the Omni Nashville Hotel here on 102.5 The Game. We're live today at Assembly Food Hall, downtown, for the SEC basketball tournament. The Blue Mist has invaded as Kentucky leads LSU 46-43 at the half over at Bridgestone Arena. But right now, we just ran into a Nashville SC fan. They're in action tonight against Inter Miami. Lionel Messi in town, CONCACAF, over at Geodis Park. Kick time is at 6:30. And if you want to go, you got to be the first caller at 615-737-1025. First caller, and you'll win a pair of tickets to see Nashville SC take on Inter Miami at Geodis Park tonight. Is that game, Dr. Crane, sold out?
I believe so. Not an empty seat in there.
Okay.
Our good guy down here says it's not sold out.
Okay. All right. So there's still some, but we got free tickets right here at 615-737-1025. Let's say hello to Terry McCormick from Titan Insider and Main Street Media, who joins us now. Terry, what is going on? The Titans have not been busy at all, right?
Not at all. Not at all. They've only assigned 11 guys over the last couple of added back a couple of their own free agents. And Mike Borgonzi's been agreeing to deals and writing a lot of checks.
I want to start just with a simple question before we get into the individual moves and what all they've done. Has this team gotten better over the course of the last 2 days?
I don't see how it could have gotten much worse, so I would say yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've accomplished, adding help on the defensive line, adding to the secondary. I love the Alontae Taylor signing. They've obviously got their special teams battery good to go and locked in. They got a backup quarterback that's going to know the offense. So, I know that some people might be not so sure. I think this team has certainly gotten better. What stands out to you more, what they've done offensively or defensively?
Well, I think two things stand out to me. I think they went out and they got some pieces on defense for Robert Saleh to work with. Obviously, going out and signing the guy from Denver, whose
Franklin
name
Myers?
Yes, John Franklin Myers. Sounds like an attorney, by the way. I think, adding that guy to Jeffrey Simmons certainly is a big upgrade for the interior of the defensive line. And I think, like you mentioned, Alontae Taylor and this guy Cordell Flott they got from the Giants certainly should help the cornerback room, which was devoid of almost anything that any talent last year. By the end of the year, they were just running whoever was a healthy body out there to try and get through. So they're giving Robert Saleh some pieces to work with. And then on offense, I mean, I know it's easy to point the finger and kind of smirk at the fact that they brought in so many former New York Giants and people who are familiar with Brian Daboll. But if you want to jumpstart this thing, you need a few guys who are familiar with what his system and what he does. So I don't really fault them for adding two or three guys that he's familiar with that can kind of be additional teachers of this system as they go through the install.
Comparisons are unavoidable because they're going to happen, especially when one of them involves your former head coach. But if you look at a couple of years ago, the Commanders had a lot of cap space. They did this. They got help for the young quarterback. Last year, the Patriots and Mike Vrabel, they spent a lot of money, got a lot of help for the young quarterback, and they ended up in the Super Bowl. Now, I'm not expecting that out of this team, but how much of that comparison are we going to hear about throughout the year of looking at how much money the Titans spent and what all they were trying to do for the second-year QB and Cam Ward?
Yeah, you'll hear that comparison a lot. I think, some of the thing is, though, what the Titans have to do now, the next step, whether it's in I guess it'll have to be in the draft because the free agent pickings are getting a little bit slim, is you got to find some difference makers. You got to find some people who can come in and make a difference on the offensive side of the ball or make a difference as a pass rusher. And those are the types of players that this team has lacked for the last several years. And when you don't have help for your quarterback and you don't have a guy who disrupts things on defense other than Jeffrey Simmons, that's why you get in the hole that you're in, and they're trying to dig their way out of it. it's the biggest task for Borgonzi and his team going forward in the front office is to find some difference makers out of this draft that they can put with what they've already got.
Terry McCormick from TitanInsider.com, Main Street Media, is with us today. Terry, I love the fact that they didn't – I'm sure they probably kicked the tires on Trey Hendrickson, but they did not give into that. You know, others screaming, got to bring him in here. I think it was fantastic that they said no to him and moved on elsewhere. That's just my feelings on that.
Well, Hendrickson had some interest in coming here if the price was right, but I think the Titans decided that the price was much too high, especially for where they are in their rebuild. So I think that, you know, they decided, and Borgonzi decided that the money was going to be better spent spreading it out like they've done, bringing in 11 guys as opposed to one or two big ticket items, and then, you know, just spending money everywhere, sort of like they did a couple of years ago when they brought in Ridley and Snead and Cushenberry and Curry and all these guys that are either no longer on the team or got one foot out the door.
Terry, what does it say that Cordell Flott was going to re-sign with the Giants at the last second? He's like, you know what? I'm going to go to Nashville and hang out with Robert Saleh. Is he buying what Robert Saleh is selling to these guys?
Yeah, it sure sounds like it. I mean, apparently Saleh was able to lay out exactly what kind of role he would have in this defense, and it was something that he wanted to hear. So this is a pretty good signing, I think, because this guy's only like 24, 25 years old. He's an ascending player. He, you know, was a third-round pick out of LSU, and, you know, over the last year or so, he's kind of come into his own, and the Giants wanted him back. But I think this is an interesting move because this is a guy that could end up being a bargain if things work out the way they hope.
Well, I agree. With Zeitler, you think he's coming back? Is he one that he's still out there? Look, he was solid last year. I mean, and I think that would plug a nice hole in that offensive line for the Titans.
It's possible. I wouldn't rule it out. I think they'll probably continue to look at other options that are out there, both at center and guard. The two guys that they signed, Schlotman and Olsen, are both going to compete to start along with Jackson Slater in one of those positions. But I think they still will continue to look for depth, and I would look for a veteran guy. And bringing back Zeitler wouldn't be the worst option in the world.
Well, going to be interesting to continue to watch over the course of the next days and weeks. Terry, appreciate it as always, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Thanks.
Terry McCormick, Titan Insider, Main Street Media. Check out his work simply by going to TitanInsider.com.
Hey, who was the guy? I can't find. They signed for the Niners like at midnight last night. The Titans did. Defensive lineman. I thought I saw that. Was I?
Yeah, I saw that too.
Was I dreaming?
Yeah, it was Jordan. Jordan Elliott.
Jordan Elliott.
Yeah.
I need to look. I saw that.
And then Tommy Townsend. I know how you feel about punters, but Tommy Townsend's a pretty good punter. So I like that they got him.
Cut his mic, please. Jordan. What's the guy's name? Jordan
Elliott.
Jordan Elliott. Elliott.
He was a third-round pick from Cleveland in 2020 and part of Saleh's defense in San Francisco last year.
Right. There's a guy that Terry was just talking about to bring in and kind of plug and play in different places there. And look, Saleh knows him. And it says, headline, Robert Saleh steals 49ers defensive free agent on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So evidently this is a big deal, signing this guy. It's
well,
all over.
And I think he's that big depth piece because remember, I mean, they had, Simmons and Sweat and then who was the guy that almost got us kicked off from the FCC that we had
Sebastian
Joseph
Day, whatever.
Yeah, Sebastian Joseph Day. And then now you got Franklin Myers and now you got Elliott. So I think they've upgraded the interior defensive line.
Well, he's 6'4", 305, and just a plug in right there on the interior of the defensive line. I like this, right?
Yeah.
So, look, these big guys up front, if you can get a rotation of guys coming in and out and keeping them fresh throughout the game, that's a recipe for success. And I think that is a great, great signing for this football team. And the question you asked, Terry, was the one that everybody wants to know. It's a great question. Did this team get better? I think this team got massively better. Now, you still got to win games, but I think this football team got so much better because they got guys who could come in and make a difference immediately.
Anyone saying that they didn't get better is just wanting you to look at them and give them attention.
Yeah.
Is basically because, like, I don't know how you can say they didn't get better. That's just my thing. 615-737-1025. Our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We're live today at Assembly Food Hall here on at 5th and Broadway, right across from Bridgestone Arena. Also, thank you to Pharmacy Burger. They're raw-edged and flat, made for piling on a variety of things in house-made sauces, and appreciate them for feeding us. It's fantastic. We love being here live on 102.5 The Game.